7898.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. We're finishing up on this issue with the TSA, and it's a very, very angering situation to be treated this way in this country. We are not the terrorists. On my worst days, I am mildly irritating, but I am not a terrorist.
Absolutely. And, I think that what we see in the behavior of the TSA is a very brutal manifestation of how all branches of government consider law-abiding, hard-working citizens these days. We are expendable and to be treated with the maximum amount of brutality and contempt. And forgive me, ladies and gentlemen out there who are listening to this show, that's not my idea of the American dream. My idea of the American dream is a responsible, underline the word responsible, representative government that does not live beyond its means and has a commitment to the welfare and the general capability of Americans being able to take care of themselves. That, to me, is what I call an enlightened government, and boy, right now, we sure don't have it.
No, we really don't here. And I have a message to the TSA, okay? I'm sorry that your guys get arrested for looting the public's luggage. I am sorry that your guy got busted for helping drug smugglers get stuff through the border into this country. I'm sorry that your people are a bunch of criminals and sex perverts. If you have a problem with that, get rid of the people who are the problem inside the TSA. Don't turn around and start slapping us around for daring to notice that these losers that you are hiring behave this way.
And how can one help from notice if one is a thinking human being?
The latest word that we get now from TSA, we're finishing it up this segment because I got to get it on the economy next section here. The latest word we're getting is now they're starting to wave around this idea that carry-on luggage is costing the taxpayers a lot of money because TSA has to scan it and look through it and fondle through the whole thing and say, what are you taking that with you for? And this is the beginning of a new step to basically ban all carry-ons, which is a huge, huge problem. But I guess the TSA baggage checkers in the back room are tired of trying to supplement their meager paychecks by going through your old used underwear, and they want access to the jewelry and cameras and electronics that their security gate counterparts have been able to get into. Mm-hmm. But it's just open looting. And, when they catch them, they get a wrist slap and they go away, and that's it. The problem remains. When you take a class of people and you give them authority over the general population, of course they're going to start going crazy. Power corrupts. Even a little power corrupts a little bit. And as long as you have a government that says, well, yeah, there's some bad apples in there, but we can't punish them for abusing Americans or the terrorists will have won. And, of course, it's going to spiral out of control. And there is so much money being made on this, nobody in any positions of power wants to deal with it.
And one has to wonder just how much stock the people at TSA and Homeland Security have in these companies that make these scanners.
They own them. They own them.
Yeah.
Michael Chertoff basically set up all of these contracts for all this security. Then he quits his government job and he starts a company to basically provide the services and equipment and supplies that he has just issued the government orders for. You want to talk about corruption and kickback? The guy is getting rich. He's laughing at all of you, and he's even laughing at the TSA workers who are all going to die from cancer from these stupid machines that would not even be allowed in a hospital because there is no safety validation on any of it.
Absolutely.
All right, that's the end of this segment. We got to take a break. Claire's going to be taking off. We'll be talking about the economy when we come back.
The Grainmaker Grain Mill. Handmade goodness since 1999. Handcrafted stainless steel and high-quality alloys. There has not been a finer grain mill made right here in the great state of Montana. Hand-operated, the grain mill does it all. Wheat, corn, peanut butter, rye, rice, coffee, beans, flaxseed, all grain types. Make your own gluten-free flour. Experience the satisfaction of providing wholesome, nutritious foods for your family without additives or preservatives. Each mill is handcrafted with manufacturer's lifetime warranty. To order your grain mill, call us at 1-800-724-2719 or go to our online store, republicbroadcasting.org. Take a look at why this grain mill will be passed down through generations.
Introducing IXL Anti-Friction Metal Conditioner. IXL works at the molecular level to reduce friction by penetrating into and bonding onto the microscopic openings of the walls of ferrous-based metals. The surfaces become smoother and denser, and this reduces the heat, friction, metal expansion, and wear caused by moving metal surfaces. The benefits are reduced maintenance activities and cost, increased fuel efficiency, and prolonged equipment life. It will not clog filters, pipes, injectors, or supply lines, does not build up or accumulate upon itself as do many other additives. IXL does not contain moly, PTFE, or graphites. Also offers the tremendous benefits of being non-toxic. It's used for a friction reducer and performance enhancer in gas or diesel engines, transmissions, automatic or standard gearboxes, turbos, electric motors, outdrives, lathe, and cutting applications. Go to republicbroadcasting.org, then to our online store, or call us at 800-724-2719. That's 800-724-2719.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
What Really Happened with your host, Mike Rivero. Visit us online at whatreallyhappened.com. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. And I want to thank Claire again for stepping in here and talking about this very, very horrible experience. And I cannot tell you how enraging it is for a husband who loves his wife to have to watch this be done to her. You know, and there's all these uniformed thugs standing around just waiting for you to make a wrong move so that they can justify their paychecks by beating the crud out of you. And at this point, I remember last Thanksgiving when there was a growing public rebellion against TSA, and TSA actually did back down. They turned off the machines and were a little bit nicer. But unfortunately, like I said, every time another one of these bozos gets popped for smuggling drugs or stealing from luggage or anything like that, the immediate response of the TSA is, well, we got to prove how butch we are and how Johnny on the spot we are and what a great job we're doing. They're doing a job nobody wants. They're doing a job that has accomplished absolutely nothing. They have never, ever, ever once actually found a real terrorist. On the other hand, people who've gone down there to test them get through all the time. Down in Dallas-Fort Worth about a week ago, one of their supervisors went through the scanners apparently 6 or 7 times with a gun concealed in her underwear, and they didn't find it. You know, when you see the test scanners from the companies, when you see the test scans from the company that makes these scanners, if you look very closely, the guns are so huge you don't need a scanner to see them. It's a piece of artillery shoved in the waistband. But if you're taking a little tiny gun like a Derringer or something and you know how to conceal it, you can get through. And this supervisor did that down at Dallas-Fort Worth. Apparently Adam Savage over at Mythbusters got a knife past the scanners there. I mean, you can go out and look at this. The little plastic letter opener, which is useful as a weapon. These do not show up on the scanners or metal detectors. And in the end, it really is a joke because they've got all this expensive equipment and all these expensive people at the airports. But if somebody really wanted to bring a bomb or even just a vial of Ebola into this country, they can walk across the border from Mexico. It's wide open. They've just restarted this whole North American Free Trade Agreement truck deal where trucks can drive up from Mexico without having to be stopped at the border and checked by customs. So all you have to do is get a nuclear bomb into Mexico. Boy, think that's hard? Put it on a truck in Mexico, drive it into the U.S., boom. But by golly, they're going to fondle your wives at the airports. Completely nonsense. Now, in addition to the article that Claire mentioned, we've already put up at whatreallyhappened.com several articles about the dangers of these terahertz machines. The danger is it's unknown. It's an unknown technology, just as X-rays were unknown in the 1940s and 1950s when they were putting these fluoroscopes in the shoe stores. And everybody said, they're safe. Go ahead, use them, no problem. And then the operators started dying. We're in the same situation now. We don't know. The government says, sure, it's safe. The vaccines are safe. The machines are safe. It's all safe. Go ahead and give us your money and go on out there. All right, I've talked about this enough. Yeah, I'm angry. I'm a man who loves his wife, and I'm really at the point of saying I am not going to subject her to that anymore. Unfortunately, the problem is TSA understands, at least on the mainland. Here in Hawaii, we're stuck. You got to go by air. But on the mainland, people are staying away from the airports. They're going to the bus and train stations. That's why TSA is saying, no, that's our turf. We're going to do the bus stations. We're going to do the train stations. And then when people start saying, I'm going to drive everywhere, now they're talking about checkpoints where they're going to remotely scan pedestrians. They're going to have checkpoints where you will be stopped and your car scanned and searched. I know it sounds like a really bad science fiction movie about a dystopian future, but we're there. TSA is having, this fight with the head of security for Amtrak, who had no idea TSA was coming in and fondling and groping and scanning people at the train stations. The head of security at Amtrak, when he saw the article, he thought it was a joke. And it isn't. People are very, very, very upset about that. All right, let's talk about the economy right now. The economy is really in the Al-Qaeda. We're finding out that, yet again, the unemployment numbers coming from the government for February are complete myth. It's just made-up numbers. They're trying to convince us there's a recovery. They're trying to prevent us from standing up and having a revolution like they saw in Egypt. They're trying to prevent the situation in Wisconsin and Indiana and Ohio and all these other places from basically knitting together into a mass public uprising. I think it's inevitable. One of the reasons I do is the banks are just completely out of control. They're completely out of control. We've got this story out of Wells Fargo where there was this student who needed money to pay rent at the college. So the father sends a check on his own account to the student. The student deposits the check into his account. Wells Fargo took the money out of the father's account. Then all of a sudden they say, oh, there's a problem with this check. We think it's a fraud, and closes the student's account, and the $10,000 vanishes into Wells Fargo's system. The student goes to the bank, and the bank says, you don't have an account with us. Remember that South Park episode? We're going to take your money and put it in the money market account, and it's gone. And this line is for people who have money in the bank, so please move along. Literally, that's what happened to this kid. And the father said, well, if the check was a fraud, credit the money back to my account. And they said, oh, no, the money's already gone from your account. We don't know where it went, but, your kid doesn't have an account. We can't track it. It's gone. We don't know where it was. Tough. Fortunately, the student and the father went to a TV station, which made a real huge ruckus